In the studio with me today is Steve Willer at the helm, of course.
There you go.
Man, we got a house full of people here. We've got Daniel Jones, we got Scott from Peace of Mind,
How you doing?
and we have Doctor Zinia Thomas here.
Hello.
What is going on?
We came here on the Cannabis, our mobile office on wheels.
I love that. You guys are so awesome. I remember that first time you came down this way. It was like back in, we were just talking about this, late June, early July.
I think it was early July because that was right when they were just allowing you to start getting registered for your, or getting certified and stuff like that.
That's right, uploading.
Right. Yep, and yep. But since then, I know, I think Jill, she finally sent her stuff in, and it came back with an expiration date of 10/30. So, and she was 15,741, and I mean, there were people here on that day that were in the low 2,000 range. So there you go, with just in a few months, how many people have gone. And I hear you kind of hold a record for certifying quite a large percentage of those people, correct?
That's right.
Awesome. Fair, congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. I kind of have a sub specialty of being a cannabis physician.
Right.
And I did some training through A4M, American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, on cannabis medicine, and done natural medicine for the last 2 years. So cannabis just fits right in, the God-given plant.
Right.
So easy to kind of implement it in what I've already been talking about for the last 2 years.
Right. Well, I know we were kind of starting, wanting to kind of start from the beginning because, I mean, everybody's heard of you by now, but if you're just kind of catching on.
That's what I was thinking that we'd start with today is, okay, you're in Missouri. You haven't got a medical marijuana card yet, but you've been thinking about getting one. What's the deal? My friends have one because it's been, 3 or 4 or 5 months now that people, it started in June we started doing this?
July.
Right.
Wasn't it July?
Well, yeah, so, it went legal December of last year, a month after it passed, it went officially legal. But the state had to do some, work, and the portal opened in June 28th.
Right.
So as the first day you could upload to the state. And, and as of last week, there was about 20,000 patients.
Oh, wow. So it's even been another 5,000 or so, since the last 3 weeks or so, seriously.
So pretty much June, July, August, September, October. So about 5 months now, 20,000 people in Missouri.
Yep.
That's huge. That's huge.
That is great. And
now, in comparison to other states, how does that in that kind of time frame, is that pretty normal, or is that above average for the states that have already went medical first?
Well, we are the 33rd medical state, 23 years after. So we've
They'd have figured it out.
Yeah, we figured it out by now. Right, so we can move. But I heard a statistic. Derek may know the formal stats, but I think it went medical in Colorado in something like 2001, but the first dispensary didn't open until 2006.
Oh, wow.
Because doctors didn't know how to write it. All doctors are taught it's a drug of abuse. You can't just all of a sudden think of, this is going to be a good medicine.
Right.
And, the regulation, the earlier pioneer states takes longer to weed through. But now, come on, 20 years, 23 years, we should be able to open the doors really quick.
Right.
Now, in Missouri, it's somewhat of not a super easy process. There's the first you have to get a certification from a physician. And then at that point, once you have that, then you go online to the, Missouri.gov.marijuana, whatever, and fill out your form. And then at that point, you pay another fee. And then it's like within a week or 2 or 3, you get your card.
And I think that kind of goes on, how many applications were came in, over the last few days or something, because some people are getting them back in a week, and like you said, some people are taking a couple of weeks. And
I've seen them as quick as 3 days.
Yeah, mine was in 3 hours.
Oh wow!
I sent mine in on 9:23, and by 12:23 that same day, I was approved.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. It's like, well, did they have me red flag or what?
We knew he needed this.
Okay. Oh, we know who you are.
They were on it that
They had a
day.
pre-approval waiting for
Thank you. Thank you.
And now with me, I did the thing where I was trying to do it perfect, but there's a number of things you got to do. You got to attach 4 different JPEGs to this website. That hangs up a lot of people because they're like,
Yes.
"Hey, what's a JPEG? And what do you mean an attachment?"
Right.
And then, okay, it's on my phone. How do I get it to my computer? Blah blah blah. Depends on how you're filling out the application. Well, anyway, you got to take a picture of your ID, and then you got to take pictures of the forms that we get from the physicians. You're one of a number of ones that do it in Missouri. And then you also got to take a picture of yourself, and there was some other thing too, or something, proof of residency, or
Driver's license.
driver's license.
You had
Yeah.
to have a copy of your driver's license.
Right.
Now, when I did it, I thought I filled it out great, and then they got back to me and said, "Hey, you're rejected, but you have 10 days to fix it." We're like, "Where's the second part of your certification form?" And that's right. When I got forms from me, I had the fancy-looking one on front, and then there was another one
Right.
that you had actually signed or something.
Right.
It's like, oh, you need that too. Unfortunately, I still had it.
Well,
Took a picture of that, attached it, sent it in, and within a few days, I was approved.
There you
so,
go.
Yay.
Same here. Mine was rejected because I didn't describe an enclosed locked facility. So
Oh,
they
'cause-
rejected mine back and was like,
Right.
basically like, "Oh, here, you need to say this here." And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, so when you hear the state doing things like that, they really want people to participate. They make it easy for people to participate. It becomes, a medical thing at some point, but it also becomes a political and community thing, something for the community. And Missouri's always wanted to reduce the opioid epidemic
Absolutely.
in the state.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the huge, best ways to do it. Every medical
and
legal
that's been
state.
proven time after time after time. Just now they're using, basically, you're right, as an exiting choice to get off. I mean, we've even had the State Highway Patrol come in, and they did PSAs about the opioid epidemic, and are referring people to the social services and Division of Health for other resources. So they're basically, in my opinion, sending them to get a medical marijuana card.
Right?
That's good.
Right.
Anything that
That's good.
helps.
That's right. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't want to take a bunch of pills when you can take an herb.
For sure.
Perhaps.
Right. Absolutely. And the way that it's going to be, available from anything from gummies to candy bars to, and different things like that. It's not
It'll be available to all walks of life.
exactly, and that's a big step where,
It
and
removes the stigma out of, oh, it's just smoking
Exactly,
weed,
right, yeah,
Now all of a sudden
right.
it's therapeutic.
Right,
And so a
right.
lot of the folks that's, been stuck on pain pills or whatever to treat their ailment will be able to do it with something that they can eat or that they can, Unfortunately, a lot of folks that got into that trap of the opiates was just following doctor's orders.
And that's true too. It's not anything that they probably wanted to go out and do, but that's just what that particular method of pain
Treatment.
relief did.
Yep.
So, and I'm actually glad to see that now they're starting to prosecute some of these doctors and the pharmaceutical executives who knew what it was going to do. They swept it under the rug. There's documentation proving it, and they're the ones who have put this society in what it's in from that aspect of an epidemic.
Cannabis of all strains, the hemp or marijuana. Hemp's going to heal the planet. Marijuana's going to heal the human. I mean, it's just it's needed.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this a few times in the past where they've back in the early days where the temples are and everything. I mean, you were buried in a tomb, and at the time you were to take things that you thought you would need in your next life.
Right.
Well, there's been proof of them finding, barrels of marijuana.
Right, yeah. They're like, I'm going to need that along the path.
Well, It was put
So
there.
if it goes back
Yeah.
to the Egyptian days, sorry, Jimmy.
It's gotta
Okay.
be real.
Well, we do want to say with Dr. Zinia here, she's got an office in Brentwood, but then she also has the Cannabis, which travels around all of Missouri, a lot of rural areas, and you're going to these areas that don't have any doctors or many doctors that are writing these certifications, right?
Right, exactly. Well, so I feel like, there are definitely some cannabis physicians and people who are trained in natural medicine, but they're definitely far and few between. All doctors, you have to be an MD or a DO to write for cannabis, so the alternative healthcare providers cannot recommend this. But then all DOs and MDs are taught marijuana is a drug of abuse. So it is a very, catch-22 for a lot of people. And so it's those natural-minded or holistic or functional medicine doctors that may better understand how cannabis interacts with the body. So, you have to find that doctor. And then, so that's one part of it. But then even if you are naturally inclined and work for a hospital system that has a lot of federal funding, then it's also, it's frowned upon or you're not allowed
Right.
to because of your employer.
Right.
It's such a gray area right now. So it's more of the, maybe would you say the fringe doctors or the doctors that were already into that holistic herbal or more the ones doing it, which tend to be more in the downtown urban bigger cities, right?
Right.
Not so much here in Rolla.
Right.
Or what other places? I know we
Well,
ran into you in
Selma,
Marshfield,
right.
Missouri.
Sullivan, Springfield, we travel all over, and it's not only just these small towns, it's just where people are more comfortable. I opened up my office in Brentwood, and while I'm more naturally inclined, I think people, had the mentality marijuana a day keeps the doctor away, and they really believe that, I'm using marijuana, so I'm going to avoid the doctor, to avoid antidepressants, to avoid pain pills, and so. But then they go to pipe shops and head shops and ask about the law and how to use this device and, where can I get my medicine? And so when you meet people where they are, then it just really clicks for people. And so that's what I found very helpful. Me traveling to Peace of Mind, or places where people are already coming to ask about cannabis and the law and the future of Missouri, and then where I can educate on people who are very interested and make it comfortable, normalize it.
That's
Right.
great. And speaking of Peace of Mind, we have Scott and Daniel here from Peace of Mind. And when we say Peace of Mind, we're talking about several locations. There's one in Rolla, one in Sullivan,
Park Hills.
St. Charles, and Cuba in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Now, where's your location at over there?
We're over there, 510 West Washington. It's the old Cuban Mercantile right across from Save-A-Lot. So, super excited. It's coming together. Got the business license yesterday.
Now,
So-
West Washington is
19 and 66.
Okay. That's like headed. Now, what heads down to Steelville? Is that?
That's 19.
Okay,
And then
so
Route
that's-
66 is the,
is
the
the
travelers.
intersection right there?
Yeah.
Right.
So you got the Crossroads
Right.
there, that restaurant.
Right.
And then on that, it's a multicolored building. It almost
Okay.
looks like it was tie-dyed in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
So-
okay.
It's
On the corner right there by the railroad tracks.
Not a little further up.
Okay.
I'm up more up into town, about
Okay.
a block up.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
it's
We'll make ourselves known. You'll figure out where we're at.
there's been a lot of chatter,
Good deal. Good deal. We'll be doing your opening remote over
Yeah.
there. Your
Well,
grand
yeah.
opening remote.
Where I,
Bus in front of it.
Yeah. Pass that mic
We'll
over.
have
to him.
Health City and them out there for the grand opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll see the buildings. There'll be a giant black bus in front of it.
and where I'm building with all this is there's a big weekend coming up here in Rolla.
Right.
And it's going to go wham, wham, wham. It's like 3 right in a row.
That's right.
Saturday at the Tater Patch, KKID
Can't
21 birthday party with the Schwag and
John Pratt.
John Pratt's Power Trio.
Right.
That's a free show.
Right.
Then Sunday and Monday, what is going on? Something at Peace of Mind? What's the story?
Yeah, so we always talk about patients helping patients. So I went to Scott and I went to the Cannabis and I said, I'm a veteran and I'd like to do something with veterans helping veterans. So if you're a veteran, you're going to be able to come in that weekend, the 10th and the 11th, from 11 to 5, and get your card for $50. You're going to get it less than half what everybody else pays because we support veterans and we support patients. And our Article 14 says that these taxes are going to help the veterans, and we feel that it's important to show face and show
There
force
you go.
like that.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I was trying to set you up for that plug there.
No peace of mind.
with 2 days with the cannabis, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, here, actually, I think the cannabis is going to be at all of the locations over the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
5 days, yeah. So just check us out on Facebook. There's an event for each area or location. Just you'll be able to go on there and get all the information.
There you go.
Or if people are in the St. Louis area and they want to set up an appointment at the Brentwood location, is that possible?
That's right. We take in walk-ins every day, and if I'm not there, I get on remotely, and I also do tele-appointments. So really, people can get qualified from the comfort of their own home. We do, it's only thing that's required from the state is a face-to-face visit. So we use, a HIPAA compliant platform like Zoom or even FaceTime, and do a visit, and we can email you the certification.
Awesome.
It's really great for people with poor mobility or even, social phobias.
Right. Yep. And that's it. And you just don't really realize how much of that is out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I was talking to a guy, invited him to the birthday party, and he's like, well, I'm not much for crowds. It's like, dude, you play in a band. Yeah, well,
You're a musician.
we don't play out that much. It's like, okay, you brought me 3 CDs, dude.
You want me to play on you.
But no, so there you go.
Yeah.
From the comfort of your own home,
Yes.
possible.
Yes.
Very cool. All right. Well, Jimmy, we want to play a little music.
Well, I do want to play some music. What I brought in was the Schwag played over the weekend. I got to tell the story of the continuing adventures of the Schwag and tie in the music. And of course, Doctor Zinia, you guys are going to hang out for a little bit, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. We're going to play a little bit of music. Should we do commercial break and then do the music?
How about the music, then the commercial break?
Oh, yeah, you hear that? You hear that? That's the Schwag live just a few days ago. That's fresh Schwag. Ended up with a Slipknot there.
So now, keyboard player.
Well, we played last Friday and Saturday. We did Friday at the Old Rock House in St. Louis. Saturday we went up to Ribco, Rock Island, Illinois, which is right across the river from Davenport.
Gotcha.
And we did 2 shows, and it was the usual suspects on guitar, Mike Bolaska, drums, Dave Clark. On keyboards, it's been, an ever-evolving cast of musical characters. But at this round, it was Adam Becker again, who recently went to New York with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
was in with you on the show, right?
And he
before
did the radio show.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah. Now we have another guy from Arkansas coming up this next weekend. I think he's coming up Friday and Saturday, and gonna play Tater Patch here in Rolla.
Yeah,
we got to plug that.
Yeah, can't wait to be there.
Why are we celebrating, Steve?
Well, 21 years ago, when I was just a wee little tad. No, I tell you what, 21 years of rocking the Ozarks, it went by like a blink of an eye, and I didn't even try to rhyme that. So, but celebrating 21 years here. We've been in this location since about August of '99, I do believe, and spent the first year down in Salem in the Crossroads Shopping Center. And at the time, it was called the Tower Inn. It was a 10-story tower, and our tower was on top of that building. Well, the building got shut down due to code violations. Didn't have any kind of fire escape or anything. You could go to the top window and hang out of it and all kinds of stuff. So
it was dangerous.
Well, you know what? It was dangerous. But nevertheless, we had to move our tower off of that building because they tore it down. So we ended up, relocating and came up to Rolla, and from there it's history. So here we are 21 years later, and Couldn't be happier.
So it's a birthday party, and the swag is going to play.
That's right.
And it's free, and the first slew of people get a free KKID T-shirt.
That's right.
That says
That's
you're
right.
21 years old.
That's right.
Free
That's
swag
right.
when you watch the swag.
Yeah, there you go.
Free gear.
There
Everybody
you go.
likes free gear.
That's right.
Yeah. And
But no, and then, you know, Jimmy, I mean, it's been 20 years since we met, because we met down there. It was the second to the last year you were at Leesburg.
Oh,
So-
for the early swag stocks?
For early swag stocks.
In the 1800s?
In the 1800s.
No.
That's
no,
right.
It was 20 years ago. I get it. 1973.
Right. I believe that would have been the summer of maybe 2000 or something like
No,
that.
it was probably
maybe?
2001, 2002.
Okay. Because then you were down at Camp Zoe in 03.
04.
04. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Man, wow. Yeah. So how time flies.
All right.
So
Okay, so now-
celebrating together.
So we got Dr. Zinia Thomas in the house with us, an expert in the field of medical marijuana, and her crew. So let's get on the topic of what is going on, because I know the big question is, okay, I've got my medical marijuana card. Is it cool to drive around with marijuana? If I get pulled over and I've got my card, what's going to happen? And are they going to take my weed? Am I going to get a ticket? Is it not really legal until January 1st? Are there dispensaries open? What's going on?
Great question, and I think just one of the biggest fears. I mean, still a lot. All of this program is just about fear. So, you know, I think the answer was December 6th of last year. It was legal, and that's where it is. We've been through, like I said, 23 years of this. So there's some grounds to break and rules to break and boundaries to set. But I think we've kind of been through that, and so, you know, there's a lot of confusion, you know, and I think, and I'm going to I'll have Daniel or Scott talk about what the police have said. But medically, what I tell people is, you know, change your mindset. Change, you know, this is what doctors had to do. Me as a doctor had to do, and change your mindset. This is a medicine, and you are a patient, and you're not using anything illegal, or you're not using illegal drugs. And kind of when you put it into a different category of substance, then you're like, you understand what you're doing. You're healing yourself. You're helping yourself. You're doing nothing wrong.
Right.
And then it becomes just, you know, easier to deal with. But you can drive around. You know, the law in Missouri allows you to purchase 4 ounces of medical marijuana a month from the dispensary and possess 2 months supply of your medicine. So 8 ounces on your person is legal. And the other wonderful perk of the law, especially here in Missouri, you know, the farmlands, is that you can grow your own medicine. And so if you know exactly what you're growing, you can save a lot and know exactly what you're putting into your body. And when you are an authorized cultivator, you can grow up to 18 plants for your personal medical use.
And some people have had their seeds in the ground and have cultivated already.
Exactly. And then your possession limits or storage limits increase when you're a cultivator to legally able to have 3 months supply of medicine in your home. So 12 ounces per person is legal. And so I feel like this law offers a lot of safety, freedom, and just options for people.
Right. Very cool.
So now, say I just got my medical marijuana card. I'm driving down the road. I have marijuana. I get pulled over. I show them this card. And what's been happening?
So we've had some actions, kind of local to some of our Peace of Mind stores, and what we've been able to do successfully is when we have an incident where someone's stopped or their cannabis is taken, if they have their card, that the police violated some rights when that happens. So we contact immediately when that happens, where it happens, whoever's in charge, whether it's a chief of police or a city administrator, and we make it known that your community, the people that are policing your community have violated some rights, but maybe not on purpose. Maybe they didn't do it on purpose. Maybe they don't understand it. So we'll provide that education in a very suitable manner. We've even hand delivered these documents to some of these city administrators and police and gotten some really successful results. A lot of people know about Chief Sean Fagan here in Rolla. He's the head of the Fraternal Order of Chief of Police across Missouri, and he issued a letter after our action stating that if someone has their card and they have the legal amount that they're allowed to have, they're not even allowed to ask us where we get that medicine. You're not allowed to police it at all. In fact, the Article 14 protects us and says that very thing, that if I have that card, that's my medicine, and you just need to go find the methamphetamines and the opioids and the things like that and go on and police other things. And we've been real successful with that. We've set a lot of precedences in the last couple weeks that really helped a lot of officers and a lot of government officials get some real education that they needed.
And that's what I think was lacking, was just the clarification.
You bet, yeah, and it's there. You know, all the answers are there. But I think it's super important to remember that with the rules changing and everything else, that the police they are doing other things, and so maybe they're not catching the education. But we want to make that simple by providing that and making sure that the media puts that information out, that the people on the street provide to their police departments that information. And you can get a hold of us at any of our stores and get a hold of me, and I'll get you whatever you need to get to your particular area.
If you're having any problems.
You betcha. But I see this stuff ironing itself out really quickly.
Right. Yeah.
What I've been hearing for the most part is that there's a little bit of growing pains and little misunderstandings on both sides of the fence. You know, we're all in this together, but we're all trying to figure it out. So, but for the most part, I've heard that, and we've seen videos on YouTube and that where people have, been pulled over. Like, oh, yeah, I do have this. Here it is. Here's my card. Okay, it's within the limits. Okay, carry on. Have a good day.
Right.
Right? Didn't you have an experience like that?
Yeah, we got pulled over by the highway patrol, actually, at the swag stock, in front of the swag stock. And, this was when it was kind of a bit new. And, they were like, you guys got weed on you? We're like, of course we do, dude. Like, you can smell us from across the highway, Like, so, we gave him our card. We all had our cards on us on the bus. And, it was just a good, it was, fairly new. So, it was just like an educational event, He's just looking at all the strains and, types of stuff that we had. And I'm just explaining to him, like, this is what's legal in Missouri. Here's our cards. Like, this is what they look like. And he's like, I've never even seen them before. And I was like, yeah, he's like, they think that they're paper. And I'm like, no, they're actually digital cards that you should, like, pull up on your phone. So I showed him, like, this is how you can pull it up on your phone, this and that, So I'm sitting there educating him while, we're talking about weed and this and that. And, he's just finding all this weed. And he's like, he's just like, you could tell that it's just so new to him that he just wanted to, like, arrest us because he's like, oh, my God. Like, oh, this is, like, so much weed. Like, why can't I take you to jail, But it's just legal, we're just expressing our rights and, being patient and, that's just all it is. We didn't have any illegal amounts or anything. It was just, here, like, even a small amount to them is like, oh my God, you're going in, so, but, it's just times are changing and, it's just education and, let's break that barrier. Let's break that stigma and, let's just move on. And just like, my buddy Daniel says, like, let's worry about the meth and the, the amphetamines and the opioids and the stuff that, there's people like ODing every day,
Man, Jesse
people
just
losing
told me
family
today,
members
my
and stuff.
26-year-old son said another kid just died.
Yeah.
And he said this kid was a popular kid in school, and all of a sudden he just kind of dropped away, and found dead of an opioid epidemic,
Exactly.
overdose.
And that's another thing too is even right now we're hearing stories left and right about people who are getting off opioids. Just every single day I meet one or two more people that come up and say, because of what you guys are doing across the state, I'm drug free today. And it's amazing. It's amazing to watch every one of these stories, and the compassion that Dr. Z brings to the table is so amazing for these people. They walk away. I've seen tears streaming down these people's faces when they leave with that approval. It's amazing.
Well, that's a life saved, and that's what it's about. It's a life saved.
That's the cool part about the job. Like, sometimes it's sad, but like, because we help so many people. Like, we hear like so many, like, different stories.
Exactly.
And like so many, people coming to me, they hug me, they kiss me, they thank me, they pray on me, they do so much. It's just a beautiful thing that we get to do, and like, it's that's an amazing thing, and we just do it every day.
Maybe that's what you guys need to start getting a video, and at your cannabis, rallies, run that video and let these people express, and they can sit there and they can watch it, because a lot of people will do that, I think that would be definitely cool. Testimonial is word of mouth, you know,
Yeah.
and there ain't nothing more powerful than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, when's the next time? It's this weekend that the cannabis is coming local.
Yeah, we'll be at Rolla on Sunday and Monday. Huge Veterans Day event on a Monday.
You guys are up in what, St. Charles?
Yes,
Tomorrow?
yeah, we're gonna be in Peace of Mind, St. Charles tomorrow, from 4 to 9, for all the people in St. Louis, St. Charles, surrounding areas out there. Dr. Z will be down there helping people out. So if you know anybody or family members, anybody, bring them down.
Okay.
Let's help as many people as we can.
I think
Get
it's
this
so
program
cool.
kicked off.
I remember the first time you came to Rolla. It was next door here, and there was like over 100 people showed up. And I don't think any of us were expecting that many people.
Yeah, nobody was. Yeah, we pulled up. I was like, oh, people were waving signs and stuff. Like, I was like, oh, whoa.
They were wrapped around the building,
Whoa.
and in between the two buildings, that's how long that line was. And
Yeah.
it started to grow, and these guys got here, and it's just like, oh, come on, seriously.
That solid event, there was 308 people through the door that
gosh.
day.
Yeah.
308.
We had
Yeah.
300 in Rolla during event too.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I
There's
mean,
some pretty big
here at
numbers.
Peace of Mind, there was over 300 people got certified. Is
In
that
one day. In one day.
Is that a 6-hour period, 7-hour period?
like 9 hours.
9 hours,
Yeah,
maybe
9
10.
hours.
Maybe 10.
The reality is if people showed up and we were packing up, Doc Z was still taking care of them. She was still, if you were there, you're getting taken care of.
Right, and that's
She,
cool.
Yeah,
There
she'll
you
go. She'll go till 2 a.m. if it's still going. You keep coming, she'll keep helping.
I mean, here she's coming all the way out, taking
Right.
care of a lot of people. and that's the
right.
reality
And
behind
that-
it.
And that's right. I mean, when
and there's- and then most
when you
people-
come
oh,
to
sorry.
town, my phones ring off the hook. When is she going to be here? What time? Where is she going to be? So it's just like, okay. So
That's so great. I mean, I spent, maybe 15 years practicing conventional psychiatry, and, I trained specifically in child and adolescent psychiatry. And, when you treat autism, ADD, anxiety, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds with, antipsychotics and Adderall and Ritalin.
Right.
And you see what happens.
Right.
And then your own kids become, that age.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what are you doing to
Right.
people?
Yeah. No.
And what I went into medicine for was not what I was doing. And so then you just get so, burnt out, physician burnout, or just disillusioned with big pharma and,
Exactly.
profits, what people do.
Right.
At expense.
Right. Yeah.
And so then when I can do, what I went into medicine for, to heal people, to do no harm,
Right.
to recommend, a substance that has not caused any deaths. That's so
Ever.
it's
Pretty
so
powerful.
it's so
Ever.
easy. It's like
Pretty
the
powerful.
best job ever.
Right. There you
And then
go.
to also have just so people are just so thankful. The best day of their lives, they say.
Right.
Is
Right.
that and
Right.
That's amazing.
It
It's
is amazing,
and it
yeah.
is life changing for people.
Yep.
What do you think the research is going to pull out in the future? When they start actually researching cannabis and the properties inside of it, I think they could probably treat just about everything.
Well, the research there is just not. It's just not allowed in this country.
Well,
The lobbyists are
because of the pill
too
market.
high
There you
to release any of this data.
Yeah.
Right.
Any of this data, but it's out there.
Yep.
Dr. Meshulam from Israel has done a lot of work on cancer, autoimmune disorders, Alzheimer's.
Really?
And yeah, so but right, you say anything that what it can do in this country, ooh, you're facing some kind of
I mean,
consequence.
if you want me to go to Jeff City and bring my tent and pitch a tent in front of the Capitol, I will. We're there.
Yes, right.
All right. Well, we need to take a quick break. You are listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show. Guest in the studio, Dr. Z, Scott, and Daniel from Peace of Mind. We'll be right back. The Jimmy Tebeau Show right here on KKID.
You're listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show on KKID 92.9 FM, Salem, Raleigh.
Hey, I think I'm gonna play a song.
Yeah.
You gonna play a song?
Are we live?
You are live.
21,000 watts of power across the Rolla area. We're talking 50-mile radius, right?
Right.
Commercial rock radio.
Man, we are there.
And we have Dr. Z in the house, so I figured I'd play this song. We're gonna sit down in the kitchen, fix us some good to eat. make ourselves a little high, make the whole day seem complete. We're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. Pass it to me, baby, pass it to me slow. Take time to smile a little before you let it go. We're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. There ain't nothing to do, and there's always room for more. Pass, shut up and close the door. We're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on. We're gonna sit down in the kitchen, fix us some good to eat, make ourselves a little high, make the whole day seem complete. We're gonna lay around the radio station, baby, and put a good buzz on. Even on a Wednesday night if we have to, we're gonna lay around the radio station and put a good buzz on. I don't know, I thought that song would be fitting.
There you
Love
go.
it.
Very
Love
fitting.
it.
Very fitting.
Jimmy, I don't
That's
think I
funny.
could whistle like that on the medication I
No.
take.
I know that's the song where I get to show off my epic whistling skills, which are quite minimal at best. So, what are we talking about here? Did we plug the Health City Facebook page yet? How do we find you guys online?
Yeah, Health City MD is our Facebook, where our new website's kind of still underway. It should be www.healthcitymo.com, so shortly. But Facebook is a way to catch us, Health City MD. And do we have a cannabis?
Health City Instagram page.
Oh, Health City Instagram, yes. Health City MD, or Health City _MO is on Instagram.
There you go. There's
That's
so
beautiful.
many things in there.
Yes.
I'm sure if you just Google it, something will pop up.
Yes, and we do have a new phone number, and it's like a vanity number, so it's 888-420-MOMJ.
Love it.
Now, how did you get that? I mean,
Mo MJ or
right,
Missouri MJ,
right.
whatever.
There you go. That's cool. Very cool.
I would say-
420. I love
Perception and
the. I love the
420,
420. There you go.
It's marketing at its best.
That's right.
I love it. And
That's
this is
right.
going to be an ongoing thing because I've got my medical marijuana card thanks to you back in July, but it's good for 1 year. So
Right.
that means July of next year. What happens? I got to go through the whole process again, right?
Right. So the recertification process is not sort of out there yet. The initial terms are out there for the state, but once the state tells us what we need to do for renewal, we have everyone's email. So my patients, I plan to email them and let them know it's time for renewal.
Right,
And if they need to
right.
renewal, it's easy. They're already allowing a video or televisit, so it could be as easy as that. Just getting
Wow.
on a video.
Wow. But you will have to be recertified. It's not like your license is good for a year, but your certification is a definite, like
No,
a
I-
TFN.
Right. No, I think it's a yearly process from the doctor and the state.
I got you. Okay.
I mean, for a couple years till it goes wreck.
Right. Exactly.
And when we were when you were talking about doctors who were working quote unquote in a federal environment, with it still being a Schedule I drug, that's what I'm told is the reason why. And once it gets taken off of the Schedule I and out of that federal level like that, then it'll probably be a little more widespread for doctors that will
Right.
start providing the medicine as well too. I mean, I go to another doctor for a physician, but it's like you said, it's a federally funded organization, and they can't certify. So,
right.
but he sure was happy that I got my card.
Right.
He was, let me see that.
Steve, we were all happy when you got your card.
And I just want to state some statistics. Like, most people don't even know that. You guys know that there's over Well, between the Mercy and the Jewish Barnes, that there's over 9,000 doctors that will not do this between the hospital coalitions and the VA. Can you believe that? 9,000 doctors. There might be about 30 doctors that I know of that are signing cards out here in Missouri.
Wow.
For 9 million people.
Wow. Unbelievable.
That was the question I had. How many? It's about 30 doctors statewide that are doing it?
Maybe 30, about 30 to 40 doctors maybe doing it statewide, and there's 9 million people in Missouri
that
and
have potential of being
that
Right.
have potential of being certified.
Right.
And there's 9,000 doctors that will not touch this. They will not help anyone. They will lie to these patients. I've heard 100 different stories
Wow.
of people come in and say, my doctor told me weed's not legal. My doctor told me that it's not good with my cancer. My doctor told me this, I mean, these doctors are just lying to these people to push big pharma and to push pills on people.
Exactly.
I mean, it's sad, and and we go in these rural areas, and you're in a small town, and the only place you have to go is Mercy. That's it. Something happens to you, you got one outlet.
Yeah.
We're just trying to build another outlet to where you don't have to say, hey, I don't want to do pills, I don't want to do this, so
Right.
I want to do a more holistic way. And but there's no help out in the rural area. And it's so vast. I mean, there's so much vast land of people that need help, and the main doctors are just in St. Louis and in Kansas City. But what about everyone else?
Right.
Everyone else needs help too.
Right.
So that's where we come in. We try to help. We try to get as many places as we can. I got people calling me every day, text me every day. Hey, get here. There's only so much time in the day. I wish we could clone myself. Then be able to help more people.
Right.
But
right.
Until more doctors get online and start helping these people, we don't have a choice.
Right.
We don't have a choice but to see 100 people a day, 200 people a day. It's not our fault.
Well,
we got to help as many people as we can, but if there's no doctors that are doing it, we leave the people that are forced to 9 million people to go.
Right.
They're gonna come to us. That's just what it is. Until more people open up the doors, that's just a reality that you're gonna face. We're gonna continue to do hundreds and hundreds of people a day until more people help. So
and that's the question I'm getting asked is like, oh, you got your card. How did you do it? So that's why I was like, let's do a show just on that. Hey, Missourians, this is how you get your medical marijuana card, right from the source, because they're coming. You're one of the starts. Well, you're one of the 30 doctors that can do it, and you're one of the few that go out into the areas and promote that you're coming in, working with businesses such as Peace of Mind.
And like you said, you can actually do it via FaceTime and have your certification emailed to you as well.
You can do it all over, which is a beautiful thing, because a lot of people, they really can't get out, or, there's a lot of people are homebound.
Right.
A lot of people don't have vehicles at all. They say, oh, I'm 30, 40 minutes from the nearest grocery store, and you want me to make it to St. Louis?
Well, and when you think about it, I mean, and growing up in the Missouri, area, there are a lot of rural areas out there that, you guys are helping tremendous a lot.
And the main thing is, it's the epidemic, the opioid.
Right.
I mean, some of these counties are the worst counties.
Right.
And these doctors shame on some of these guys. They're pushing all this opioids on these people. These are the guys that should be, they're pointing the finger at us. They're pointing the finger at you guys.
Right.
You guys are the ones killing people. It's absolute shame down here. Right. I mean, I'm hearing stories. I lost one of my good friends in high school from opioids. That's why I'm super passionate about this. I don't want to have anyone have to deal with this ever again of losing somebody.
Right.
So I'm going to come help as many people as I can, get this plant to, I could potentially be saving someone's kid, someone's mom, someone's uncle, someone's grandpa.
Right.
It's just, you never know what people are going through. And it's and the epidemic down here, it's crazy. You're hearing people 6 kids a day, 7 kids a day dying from these opioids, from these doctors that are pushing it. That's insane. And then some of these doctors have the nerve to get on social media and say something bad about Dr. Z. She's helping these people.
That's right.
All she's doing is she's helping these people with a healing plant, and that's it. And just because she's not pushing big pharma, she's a bad person. Get out of here with that.
Here in Phelps County, our doctors locally have issued out 86.6 pills per man, woman, child, and infant. That's a real statistics, and we don't have a lot of doctors down here. Those doctors are responsible for a lot of bad things. I know a doctor who's not responsible for a lot of bad things, and that thousands of people in my area have gone to get away from those particular doctors that I believe have been the major cause. They were the landing strip for those opioids here in my county, and I know a doctor that's not going to take you in that direction.
That's right.
And I've done this for so many people, and now this is what the card looks like. I don't know since we're videotaping, and this kind of just proves, you're just a number with the state, your name, your date of birth. There's no diagnosis, there's no restriction, there's no doctor's name. It's like you can only use this for migraines. There's nothing like that, and I think that also right there just breaks the stigma. So I use it for so many things.
Right.
You can't prove. Sometimes you can't prove that you have anxiety or that you have, insomnia. No one believes you. But so just being able. So I like to say to people, come and talk to me. Why do you use it? I learned about this plant not from medical school, from my patients. All psychiatric patients that I dealt with were using. And what I noticed, especially from adolescents, it would start at 11 or 12, and those people that were using or self-medicating were the ones who needed less medication overall, less side effects, and less, hospitalizations. Yet there was the people who were ultra compliant and, I don't use drugs and, needed the medication were the ones who were sicker,
right.
Who needed recurrent hospitalizations, who had horrible side effects and had no relief from them.
Wow.
So, I kind of learned there's no harm from this, and
there are no side effects.
No side effects, and then what would happen would be legal harm. The people,
right.
these adolescent kids that maybe would focus better and have less anxiety would be reckless with
right.
it in their car,
right.
and so then it would be pointed on, okay, it's bad, it's getting me in trouble, but it's really, treating some of his ADD or anxiety that he's too embarrassed, or the family's too embarrassed to get treated
right.
or addressed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big question that I've had too is what's all involved in the certification process, and does it hurt? I've heard that one before.
Yeah. See, the cool thing about Missouri and the certification process is that like in the
Why
Constitution,
do you think the black bus is so big?
they put some cool citizens initiatives in the law in Missouri, like most people don't know, like in the law, if you're on a medication, any medication at all, and the doctor feels like you can benefit from weed, you qualify for medical marijuana. That's pretty much everyone in the state of Missouri. So
that's what I thought. So it's basically a questionnaire.
So, and there's some things, people may not think that's okay or that's cool, but, it's a citizens initiative. It's in the Constitution. It's your constitutional right. That's what they wrote. That's what the law is, So, if you see your doctor and she feels like you can benefit from, medical marijuana, you qualify. It's just that simple. So, if you had a scare or, you were nervous that you qualify, well, now you know.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So if you've ever been prescribed anything in your life and you see a doctor and she thinks you can benefit from weed, you can get card.
There you go.
That's simple.
Pretty good. I want to hear more about it, but it's the top of the hour. Should we do a station ID?
Yes, you are listening to KKID Salem Rolla. That's all we need. There you go.
That's all we need. That was easy.
Bing, where's that Staples button when you need it, right?
Okay, so the certification process, that basically involves a questionnaire of some sort. I remember filling out a questionnaire.
Yeah.
Well, what we do is, so I am a psychiatrist. I actually am a child psychiatrist, and also there's no age limit in Missouri law. So all those years that I spent medicating children with Adderall or Ritalin, now I can choose to use cannabis as an alternate treatment for them. too. So there's a category under the law that it says any psychiatric issue, and so I qualify people under my name. I feel like that offers the most privacy. Again, the state doesn't have the restriction, and so the state really doesn't want to know any kind of diagnosis. They just kind of allow people to qualify. But one of the qualifying categories that I can say, come and talk to me while you're using, is when the category says when medical marijuana is safer than the current prescription that the patient's on. And so that's where they're saying this is the exit drug category. Get off of more harmful medications, get off of opiates, get off of antidepressants, get off of some other medications, GI meds, IBS meds. If there is, try cannabis. Can that reduce your dose for that? And or even Tylenol. Tylenol PM. People say they take Tylenol 3 times a day for arthritis pain, or 2 Tylenol PM every night for insomnia. And Tylenol is like almost the second common cause for liver toxicity, besides alcohol. So, it's definitely safer and more effective for pain and insomnia. So that is a qualifying reason to, be qualified for the medical card.
And then when you certify someone, you give them the dial of all the different kinds of strains and what they're good for and the symptoms that they help with. And then on the other side, it actually has the symptoms and different things like that. Dare we, Jimmy?
If you're
To
feeling
the phone
frisky.
lines. All right. Good evening. You're live on KKID on the Jimmy Tebeau Show.
Hi. I don't want to bring down your listeners. I just wanted to thank you guys for what you're doing. My brother-in-law committed suicide a couple years ago because his doctor got him addicted to opiates and then, just yanked him off of them, and he was addicted to morphine. And if this was legal a couple years ago, he might still be here right now.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to thank you for what you're doing.
Well, you're welcome.
I think it'll help a lot of people.
Thank you for sharing. Sorry for your loss. Yes, cannabis
you.
is a
Have a great night.
great alternative treatment for depression, anxiety.
There you go.
I'm kind of glad she called in and shared.
Yeah,
That was nice.
And like you said, so many people during the process of getting certified have just told you the thankfulness in their hearts and how this is going to help change their lives, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was growing up, marijuana was taught to us that it's the gateway drug. Like if you smoke marijuana, you're on your road
be
to
a junkie.
heroin addiction and imprisonment and or death.
Right.
And it leads right up. Now, for some people, it was. But it seems like that's a small percentage, and they were going that way anyway.
Hate to say it,
what I've seen. Yeah.
Because back in the day when I was a kid, if you were doing heroin, you were a junkie, all right. And then all of a sudden, all your blue volumes started popping up, and your Quaaludes and all that kind of stuff, and that was kind of the beginning of your opioid epidemic, was those kind of things hitting the streets, and different things, because never once did, it
Designer pills.
no, it's like, well, because, first of all, you could watch a few people take 5 of them, and the next thing, it's like, well, who would want to feel like that?
I have a medical question for the doc. So I've been smoking for 30 years, and everybody knows that I medicate pretty heavily. What happens if I stop? Do I have arthritis? All those things? I don't know, because I've been medicating so long that I'm scared that maybe I have like an arthritis or one of those things that I'm medicating for that I didn't know I was medicating for. Let's just not answer it. I don't want to stop. Never mind.
Yeah, don't stop.
Never mind.
Okay, Jimmy,
I
you should
answer
be
it.
able to answer that question. Well, seriously.
No, I was a regular smoker. That's true. I was a regular smoker for years, and then I caught a federal rap. I was indicted.
Right.
And then they wanted to P-test me, like pre-trial, and then I ultimately got a prison sentence, and then I was in prison for a year and a half. And so I went a couple years without smoking. And the first week is the roughest, and then by the second or third week, you're good. I did it the wrong way. I went cold turkey the day I went into prison, because
Right.
There was a little bit of time, like before I was going to do the trial or whatever, in the plea agreement that I didn't smoke, but then there was a little window in there, and then bam, and it wasn't the best method, really, right? You should wean yourself. I don't know.
Any medicine you can
any
wean
medicine,
yourself.
not just marijuana. But I was like, well, here we go. But then when I got out, I was still on parole, so they were still pee testing me. So then, but now I've got my medical card and
Right.
I medicate. I'm not a super heavy smoker.
Right.
I am around some heavy smokers. I'm also around some people that don't smoke at all.
Right.
And then I'm around some people that smoke cigarettes. I still don't understand that one. Are they it's for sure you're going to get cancer with that one.
Yeah. That's a tough addiction to kick. I know smokers. My wife's a smoker, and she's tried to quit, and it's tough. I'm not a smoker, so I don't know how to.
Oh, apparently it is tough. I much respect all the smokers,
Right.
Because I'm a smoker too. It's just not tobacco. There's people that smoke cigars and
Right.
chew tobacco,
Yep.
and we all have our vices. But we need to keep plugging this weekend's events. Saturday at the Tater Patch, the Schwag. It's KKID's birthday party, and then what's happening Sunday? And it's Sunday and Monday, isn't it?
Sunday and Monday.
A little birdie told me too that maybe the Cannabis and Peace of Mind were going to crash the party too. So we'll see you out there for your birthday, Steve. It's going to be a good time, man.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're gonna do it right.
Oh, okay. There
I mean,
you go.
Don't tell Tater Patch.
Don't tell the Tater Patch. No,
Definitely don't tell the Beta Tater Patch.
that'll be all right. There.
And then Sunday is our big event for the veterans. The veterans don't have to come in Sunday. They can come in Sunday or Monday, whatever's most convenient for them. Whatever's most convenient
So
for them.
it's both days for the $50 veterans
you betcha.
certification. Okay.
You betcha. And then 110 for everybody else, which is still a wonderful price, awesome value. I mean, to that kind of dough to go exercise some new rights, man. I wish I could do that with a new right every day. I got $110 over there right now. Legalize something else cool, man. Let's do it. That's what I tell people all the time. When we passed that amendment, I looked at my wife and I said, honey, they legalized me.
How do you answer the phone? Vote for Daniel? Is that what you say?
Go for Daniel.
Go
Sometimes
for Daniel.
vote for Daniel,
Okay,
yeah.
go for
yeah.
Daniel. Go for Daniel.
Are you running for anything here?
I'm running away from everything right now, but I'm going to come back full circle with some answers for everybody.
I love
Oh, what do they
Daniel
say?
was a city council
grab your
member.
ass with both hands and hang on for the ride.
No, that's glorious.
Oh, is
well,
it?
should we play some more music,
Yeah,
or
let's-
we have time for another song?
We got time for another song, and then we can come back to a break and
okay.
some more music. Back to the show. Quiet down in here.
yeah.
Do you think there's a party going on or what?
Fun,
Come
we're
on.
having fun. Oh my gosh! But that was the Schwag. The Schwag just a few days ago. The Schwag just a few days ago. Friday, we played at the old Rock House in St. Louis. Big rowdy crowd there. You can hear them hooting and hollering. Here, listen to this. Hear that? That's them. Yeah. Did you hear that one guy? He said, "Woo!" That was me.
Was it?
No, I was. It was a good crowd. And then Saturday we made our way up to Rock Island Brewing Company and played 2 big sets. We played about 3.5 hours there. Started early, played late. And the trick about the show on Saturday is when it hit 2 a.m., it became 1 a.m. And at that place, we usually play till 1 a.m. So he had to start a little bit later, and then we played a little bit later, and then we could play a little bit later.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you got that extra hour.
Right.
There you go.
And then this guy, he bought like 3 buildings right in a row down in the old district there in Rock Island, and his third venue is a dance club, and that was going till like 4 in the morning. Wow. We went over there for a little bit, about 2:30.
The good old days.
And it was a scene.
Jimmy's still living it.
I was by far the oldest guy in there.
I could imagine.
There was a lot of people that were like 21 to 27,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
And it was a wide mix of nationalities too. In Rock Island, you wouldn't think to see such a diversity.
Right.
But I guess it's the entertainment district. It's where everyone's going to go, and everyone was enjoying it, and it was fun. And I felt like I fit in. I just wasn't booty bumping as much.
I mean, you never wound up down at Sojay at like Pops or whatever the other clubs were.
I walked
down there.
out of Pops once at daylight.
Dawn.
I lived to tell the tale. Yes.
I think that happens to everyone that goes to that place.
It's somewhat of a rite of passage, I believe.
Yeah. You must go to Pops before you move on in life, and not come home until the sun comes up.
Oh man, the headache.
You'll be
the
a
next
changed
day.
man. You'll be a changed man after that.
No, that's at the strip club right next door.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. The penthouse.
Oh boy! All right, we need to take a quick break. Hey, John Pratt is in the studio, and he brought his guitar.
Johnny boy.
Oh,
He
you
did?
wanna
Well, maybe
you wanna
we'll get a
let
jam
him,
going or
yeah,
something.
Okay, well we'll figure it out during this break, and we'll let you know when we get back. You are listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show. Time to check in with the weather. Brought to you by Kingdom Kia, right here in Rolla.
You're listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show on KKID 92.9 FM, Salem, Rolla.
Hey, we should do some jamming. We got Mr. Pratt in the house. He works over at Merle's Music, right?
Yes, sir.
You sell these guitars and you play them as well.
I do, absolutely.
And don't you host the blues jam over at the Tater Patch?
the Rolla Regional Blues Jam. It's the first Sunday of every month. It was just this past Sunday. I had 8 guitar players that wanted to sit in.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Did they all get a turn?
They all got a turn. Yeah,
Oh, they all had
absolutely.
some fun.
Yeah, and so we do that. I play in about 6 bands, so I'm somewhere all the time. So
And you're going to be at the Tater Patch.
I'm going to be at the
this-
Tater Patch
this
this Saturday night, opening up for you. It's
The
it's a
swag,
thrill. The musicians I got are really good. Drummer and bass player David Wood on drums and Dan Butts on bass, and they are jacked up to do
Right
this.
on.
So everybody, we're all real excited, man. We can't wait.
Sweet.
Very
let's
cool.
play a blues tune.
All right, man.
I brought a St. Louis blues tune down. Of Johnny Johnson showed me this one. He used to play with Chuck Berry. He said he wrote this with Keith Richards. It's in the key of G.
Awesome.
You ready?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Listen to me, baby. And hear what I gotta say. I said, listen to me, baby. Hear what I gotta say. We're going down to the corner. Have a drink of Tanqueray. Yeah, there you go. Come on, baby. Won't you do like I say? Come on, baby. Won't you do like I say? There you go. That's tasty. We're going down to KKID radio station to have a drink of Tanqueray. A drink of Tanqueray. Ooh, yeah. Drink of Tanqueray. A drink of Tanqueray. A drink of Tanqueray. That's it. A drink of Tanqueray. Let's hear some of those hot legs now. Keep it going. It's been a long time coming, but I knew I'd see the day. It's been a long time coming, but I knew I'd see the day. We're going down to the radio station to have a drink of Tanqueray. Oh, drink of Tanqueray. Ooh, day. Ooh, yeah. I smoke a doobie a day. Oh, did I just say that? Drink a Tanqueray. One more time. Drink a Tanqueray. Play some out of those hot licks now. I drink a Tanqueray. Drink a Tanqueray. Ooh, yeah. Drink a Tanqueray. Take it away right here. See, he can play all those tasty blues licks. You
No
know,
doubt
I
about
can
it.
just kind of beat out the chords and try to sound like I'm cool.
Sound like you got a mouthful of rocks, you know.
Hey, how you doing? I've been drinking some whiskey.
Right.
That's why I call him Johnny Bad Boy Pratt.
Oh, man, you can't do that now. Can't do that. I'm getting made fun of all over town because of that now.
He has more of a storied history than me.
Oh my gosh! If I told you about his little orange jumpsuit when he was 20 years old, he was in a 9-piece funk band and the only white guy in the band with the biggest afro. And I ain't telling you what, that was in Omaha, Nebraska, and my wife and I would go out to the clubs with him, and it was the best time we ever had. Absolutely, you know. Talk about being able to party, buddy. Come on.
Now let's go.
I have been there and starred in that film. Yes, sir.
Yes. She,
120 pounds of him.
I can only say I've only been to one prison. One day I don't hope to get. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Well, we narrowly escaped incarceration several times. We have a long and storied history,
Yes,
Stephen.
yes.
Tragedy
32 some odd years of it, so there you go. Yeah, but looking forward to it this Saturday night, man. It's going to be a blast. Over at the Tater Patch, you got John Bad Boy Pratt opening up with his power trio, followed by the Schwag.
That
And it's
starts
a
around
free
8
show.
8 o'clock and it's
8
free.
o'clock, right.
Is there an age restriction over there?
No, it's all ages.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Bring
That
the
means
kids.
you better come early if you're going to get a seat.
Yeah, and they got great food.
Yep.
Excellent. A lot of it, too.
And it's really supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be sunny, 57 down to 40, so it'll be perfect. Bring a jacket, hang out on the deck as well, too. You know, I mean, they stream out onto the deck as well, too, with the music and stuff like that from the inside. So, you know, there'll be room for everybody.
Sweet.
Everybody.
Should we do one more song?
Sure,
We
let's
gotta
do it, man.
Let's do one in key of A.
All right. Hey, it is.
Well, I woke up this morning, felt the ground for my shoe. That's when I knew I had to walk. Woke up this morning, look around, I felt the ground for my shoe. That's when I knew I had the walking blues. Walking blues. Some people tell me that, you know, all blues ain't bad. It's the worst old feeling I will ever have. Some people tell me walking blues just ain't so bad. Worst old feeling I almost ever had. I ever had. What you got over there? Oh yeah, that sounds good. Well, I'm leaving in the morning if I have to rob me blind. Well, you know I've been mistreated. I really don't mind dying. Yes, I'm leaving in the morning if I have to rob me blind. You know I've been mistreated. I really don't mind dying. Don't mind dying. She's got Elgin movements from her head down to her toes. Down just about everywhere she goes, she's got those Elgin movements. from my head and down into her toes. Breaking on a dollar just about everywhere she goes. Everywhere she goes. John Bad Boy, where's that bad boy? Well, I woke up this morning and I felt the ground for my shoe. That's when I knew I had the walking blues. Woke up this morning, look around, I felt the ground for my shoe. That's when I knew I had the walking blues. Walking blues, had those walking blues. Walking blues. I had those KKID blues. Well, I had the blues, and then I turned on KKID. Now I don't have the blues no more. No more blues. KKID radio. Yeah, you see, you know, like when you're playing live like that, you can just automatically do the studio fade out.
That's right.
And you can just DJ over. Isn't that fantastic?
Nice fade out, Jimmy.
You know,
great job, John.
For everyone that's still listening to us at this point of the show, we love you and we appreciate it.
That's right.
You know, hey, the doctor's still here. Let's get the doctor back in here.
All righty.
Bad boy Pratt, thanks for coming in.
Hey,
and
thanks
jamming
for
some
letting me,
songs.
man. It's so much fun. I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to this weekend. Maybe we should have
too.
you sit in with the swag. Or
I would
something.
love it.
Let's
Absolutely.
it's done. Everyone's heard it. It's gonna happen.
Awesome. All right. I'll have my people get a hold of your people.
Yeah. And
there you go.
You see, that's what it is our attorney meets with their attorney, and then they have lunch over at Sirloin Stockade. Can you see that?
Yeah, because it's the buffet,
It's
baby.
the buffet. It's all you can eat.
Come on.
That's
Yeah, you'll
what-
have to adjust those They're giving you a hard time, aren't they? Grab that whole thing, that whole black thing there, and pull it forward. There you go. There you go. That's it. That's it.
Oh my goodness!
All right, we're good. We're good to go.
So you know, a question. We got Doctor Zinia. It's Zinia, right? Zinia.
The other flower.
Zinia. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Zinia.
I think the flower is zinnia, but I'm spelled with only one N. But
Zinia Thomas. I got
That's
the
right.
last name right.
Yes.
I couldn't butcher that. No, that's great. And you've probably written some of the most medical marijuana certifications in the state so far. You think there's no way to gauge that, is there?
No way to gauge, no. But
you do a lot of them.
But I do, yes.
Well, you do keep count of how many patients you've got right now, right?
Well, she
Yes.
knows her number, but she doesn't know everyone else.
Oh, yeah. No,
and we know the overall number.
It's a lot.
Right. Right.
But it was the first, after that first event here in Rolla, we had to, definitely, like you said, no one expected that. So we updated our system and made it, digital and able to handle kind of that volume too. So we definitely were not prepared, but it made us aware of the need and the demand, and we've definitely kept up with it. So.
And that's what, when Jill came and got hers, it was all you guys had your iPads ready to go and everything was digital. And I mean, it was a lot slicker than the first one we did. It was almost an experimental, like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And I know you'd been out and done a few, but never had, 75 people waiting in line when you pulled up with your with your bus. So,
well, the more and more I do it, when you see kind of how the state thinks and and how they feel, really they're 23 years behind.
Right.
They really want everyone to participate, yet they still have rules and regulations
Absolutely.
to follow. everything goes, really. They know that there's no harm. They know that there's been reduction in opioid, the reduction in crime. The safety that dispensaries provide is immense. They're all they have cameras. They have armed guards,
Right.
dogs. Just what can that do to a community except provide a lot of safety and security?
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and Rolla's probably going to get some dispensaries.
Yeah, there's word of one moving in right next door, right next door.
All right.
Yeah,
By the radio station.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of patients here that need access to care.
yeah,
Yeah.
You've proven that.
Yeah, we know that. There's a lot of patients here. in
How many
Rolla.
times have you been to Rolla now? It's been at least 5 to maybe 10.
Oh, I bet you've got what, 2,000 or more.
Probably about 5 or
two-
6
5 or 6
times
Times
here.
right here,
But,
yeah,
I mean,
in the
totaling-
thousands, yeah,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
thousands,
yeah,
for sure.
Hundred
yeah,
at least
yeah.
each time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah.
You add them all together, you're a lot of people have got their cards down here and got
Yeah.
certified. So pretty
We're
cool.
not-
And I
Yeah.
think what we
We're not
see
keeping
in
score.
this area is a lot of people are exercising. The other perk of the law is that they exercise their right to grow.
Right.
Grow.
Their
Yep.
medicine.
Yep. A lot of people. I mean, I got my cultivation license. I have not put a seed in the ground yet, but I'm still kind of, I don't know.
Preparing.
I got to set my room up at
Yeah.
home. I know how
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
We did a project that we thought would last a month, and it lasted 4. And then finally, when you get done with that, it's like, are you ready to do crap? I'll wait, but nevertheless,
not
yes.
all
it's-
states allow you to grow your own medicine.
Illinois
Right.
doesn't. No growing in Illinois. Boo, boo.
I did not know that.
No, I did
Yeah.
not know that either.
Yeah, no growing
But
in Illinois.
January 1st, they go recreational.
Yeah, still no
But
growing
still,
though.
yeah,
It's
so-
still
no-
not growing,
right.
but that means if you live in the state of Illinois
You
and
have
you're
to buy.
and you're over 18,
Yeah, it's 21, I think.
over 21, you can
Yeah.
go to a dispensary, but you show an ID.
Yep, and
You
you're
walk
good
in.
to go.
Now, I live in St. Louis. I can't drive across the river and do that, right?
I mean, you're
Well,
not
sure you
supposed-
can. If it's
You're
recreational.
not supposed to.
Well, what do
I
you
don't
mean?
know.
I
You
mean,
You can go
nothing's
to
gonna stop. I mean, people come to Colorado all the
Yeah.
time, and
And buy.
Texas, Oklahoma.
I mean, you know,
Idaho.
I suppose you're right. I have bought
Right.
marijuana in a dispensary in Colorado.
Well, of course.
They asked me for an ID,
Exactly.
so I suppose I could.
Yeah.
But then as of January 1st, there will be dispensaries in Missouri. Is that the story? I
Yeah.
mean, somebody answer that
I
one,
mean,
'cause that's
so
probably a
here's how
good
the whole
question.
thing is. I mean, unless they allow the immaculate concept for the stores, there's not going to be any product because any grower knows that it takes at least 6 months to get growing. And I mean, some of these places that you're going to be talking about are going to be 30,000, 60,000, 90,000 square feet facilities. I mean, you're looking at 6 months alone, just work, electrical, plumbing, city inspections, fire. You're 6 months out before you have a plant in the ground. So,
And then another 60
and then
to 90
another
days.
60 to 90 days. So, I hear everyone saying, hey, this dispensary is going to be open in January. But, I'm just like, with what product? Unless the state does like kind of how they did in Colorado where they turned a blind eye, in which the store's immaculately filled up with all this weed, and then they went with the inventory system. There's not going to be any medicine for, maybe August,
Right.
October,
Right.
of 2020.
Right.
If they go off
Now,
the same,
some smaller cultivation companies, though, that I mean,
even smaller even if you say, let's give you the license January 1. I mean, you still have, 2 to 3 months to build out.
Right.
I mean, it's not like you can just
well, no,
put
and
together
that's
a
what I'm
30,000
saying,
square foot facility in
Right,
a week.
right,
I mean, you're
right.
talking about
No.
heavy electrical upgrades. Heavy HVAC. I mean, you're talking about months and months worth of work, that
Right.
takes to build out these facilities. I mean, I've seen facilities in Colorado that take a year to get built,
Right,
between, all the inspections and, especially if you want to do a processing center, you're talking about bomb-proof walls, fire, all this stuff, that takes years, vent-proof rooms, air-proof rooms. takes months and months to get those things fully operational.
But at the flip side, we have 20,000 legal patients in the state of Missouri, and if the state of Missouri does not provide for them, they are going elsewhere to get their medicine, and so that's 20,000 patients tax revenue that's going to be lost for the state. And really, we're 23 years behind. They can easily, look at the playbook and how it rolled open in other states and make it move faster. Actually, the portal opened earlier. The the upgrade, something else. The license application kind of was opened earlier. So they've kind of rolled out a little bit earlier with the state. So I don't know. I think I'm still hopeful.
Do you know where
that
any status of cultivation licensing stands? Right? Has anybody been issued?
The state, this DHS has said that they've scored everything with the cultivations. They're on to the stores. So I mean, we're just waiting to hear. I mean, we're just waiting to hear. There's supposed to be the labs and cultivation are supposed to be going first. So I mean, it could be any day now. I mean, I know there's a lot of people standing on their toes, waiting for the list to come out to figure out.
And as soon as they get that approval, then they can start build.
Yeah, but like I said, it's going to be a lot of lawsuits. I mean, the state. I mean, they had a deadline for applications. And then they changed the deadline, and then opened it up, and then 600 more people applied, and if you're after that deadline. So if you're a company, and you put 30, 50 grand, 100 grand in, and then the guy that applied on Sunday and you applied on Wednesday, get your license, you're going to be pretty upset.
Are the ones who even pre-qual,
yeah,
and they did that.
And I know I've met tons of people come in here, like a lady that she sold her car to get the money to be able to pay the 10 grand, and then she didn't know, then 6 months later they say, oh, well, you have to have $300K liquid to be able to apply. Okay, how many people have $300K liquid to apply? So that you're knocking out 95% of the people who could do this. Right. They know what they're doing. They're trying to keep it corporate. They want to knock out the little guy, and that that was small here. I mean, in some places, Florida, it's 4 million. 4 million liquid. Come on, that's 1% of America who can apply.
Right.
So even 300, that's a little bit lower, but still, so we'll see what happens. It could be. I mean,
they took people's application fees.
Yeah, they just took people's money. I mean, it's pretty much legal robbery is what's going on. And I don't think the people are going to stand for it.
And didn't fully disclose what.
Yeah, I mean, it was legal robbery. I mean, you gave the state your money on one expectation, and then they change that expectation, and then they don't issue you a refund. You're going to have a lot of pissed off people at you.
Yeah.
That aren't going to just sit there and let you take their money from them, So I feel like it could end up like Michigan, where we see, hey, we got this program going on, this awesome, wonderful program, and then, we don't have stores or anything for 7 years because it's tied up in litigation, and, it just becomes a wild, wild west. And then you got people opening stores, caregivers selling weed, and that's what it's going to lead to if they don't, they
don't get on board with it.
If they don't get on board, it's going to be, we've already proven, 20,000 patients in a couple months. You think that number is going to stop?
No,
You think it's going to stop? Yeah.
Right.
The number is going to keep climbing every single.
Right.
It's going to keep climbing every single day. So the need and the access is going to need more and more. And trust me, there's people growing out here. There's people growing.
Oh yeah, no.
There's tons of people growing out here.
Right.
So they're just going to expand and grow more. If the state is not going to allow for these sick people to get their medicine, you better believe they're gonna figure out where to get somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, right now we're officially in the Immaculate Conception Zone, because according to the rules, if you get pulled over right now and you have marijuana, it doesn't have to be in a particular container right now.
Right now, yeah.
After January 1st or whatever, you got to have it in a certain container in a certain spot in your car or whatever. But right now, the police technically cannot ask you where you got that from. Correct?
That's correct. Yep. So the push is get legal. legitimize yourself, be safe.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll do
have
that
those
with
freedom.
maybe they'll do that with the dispensaries. I heard Oregon had an overabundance of harvest this past year, and
They need to crop it out.
They need to crop it out.
They had too many grows, too much grow space per not enough people up there.
Wow.
I went up there one time and I was like, whoa. I mean, they had just mega grows everywhere.
Right.
And now they're like, damn. Now they're like, who do we sell this to?
Right. What are we going to do with it? Right.
The state of Missouri has already issued like 2 set of emergency rules, meaning they're kind of changing it up. These are constitutional change. The medical legalization is a constitutional change, but they're making these emergency rules to facilitate the program going forward.
Gotcha.
So there may be an emergency rule where everybody can have access to
Right.
medicine.
There you go.
And not have to cross state lines or still, that's always a risk.
Right.
They're still
I know they don't want to
taking
lose
some
any.
risks.
They don't want to lose any money to Illinois. That's for sure.
Right. Right.
They'll probably either think of something or say like Colorado or California, like they said other states. They just kind of turn their back for a couple days. Stores filled up with inventory, and everyone was happy. And it worked out for everyone.
There you go. So let's take a quick break. We are listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show, 6:49. Your weather's going to be brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.
Napa know-how. Now at Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers, buy a 2-pack of night vision brilliant headlamps and get a pair of Proformer wiper blades free. Because when you put safety first, your equipment shouldn't be second rate. So upgrade to Napa night vision brilliant headlamps and get a pair of Proformer wiper blades free. Do it yourself or have it done for you. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Some restrictions apply while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
All right, let's take a look at that KKID regional forecast. Rain stopping, highs around 54, cooling down tonight to around 33 with rain still in the forecast. Wind chill value as low as 26 tonight. Thursday, a 50% chance of rain early in the morning, cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing, high 39.
Hey folks, it's Daniel from Peace of Mind Rolla. Stop by Peace of Mind in Rolla on November 10th and 11th to get your Missouri medical marijuana recommendation for only $110. Veterans get your recommendations for $50. You save $60. Peace of Mind in Rolla is the #1 shop in town for heady glass, handmade jewelry, tie-dye shirts, dresses, and much, much more. Visit one of our many locations in Rolla, Sullivan, Park Hills, and now St. Charles. Peace of Mind, the greatest place to space your face.
It's home of the Big Tater, Robin Crickett's Tater Patch, serving Rolla area for over 50 years. Woo! Featuring a full menu, including great starters, delicious salads, great half-pound burgers, signature custom smothered taters, and the best hand-breaded pork tenderloin you'll ever eat. If that's not enough, Friday they'll feature all-you-can-eat catfish, and Saturday a slow-roasted prime rib. Stop in today to Robin Crickett's Tater Patch and see why it's been a regional favorite year after year for the best food, fun, and music. See you later at the Tater.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance is now included with your auto policy. So if your car leaves you stranded, just call and we'll take care of you while you take care of what's most important. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield, we're your shelter. Some restrictions apply.
Ask Shelter Insurance Agent Brian Martin about the details. Call 729-5135.
You're listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show on KKID 92.9 FM, Salem, Rolla.
Yep, we keep doing it. We come back every Wednesday, and we get on the airwaves and we talk live about all kinds of stuff. We went into medical marijuana quite deep today, but we've got specialists in the house.
That's right.
And what we got. What was that?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was confused there for a minute.
I'm hearing voices. I'm hearing.
Hey, so we're wrapping up the show here. So I always got to plug my band, The Schwag. Check out theschwag.com or go to our Facebook page. We have over 36,000 people that like us, and we try putting out stuff every other few days or something on there. And we're playing locally this Saturday. This Saturday at the Tater Patch. It's free. It's the KKID birthday party.
21 years.
Yep. And the first slew of people through the door get a free T-shirt.
That's right.
KKID.
There's going to be a bunch of them, so we're hoping for a good crowd.
Yeah.
But it's free, so you know it will be. So get there early.
Oh, it's going to be an amazing crowd.
Right.
There'll probably be a waiting line out the door once the show gets started because they do have a capacity.
Yeah, and a number of people will be showing up early for dinner. I know I'll be there.
Yep.
And
I will definitely be hungry.
It's so good. And then we want to.
That was good. Well, you know they're going to do good in the kitchen that night, don't you?
If I got to
give me some more of them wings, baby. How about one of them taters? Come on.
They got some good taters down there. I like their tater tots. We want to thank our sponsors for the show. There's Brian Martin with Shelter Insurance, Jamie Hallmeyer with VIP Properties, correct? And Tater Patch is a sponsor,
right?
Yes,
and
there's one more sponsor. Who is it?
Pick me.
Pick me.
Pick me.
Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind's in the house.
We have a Peace of Mind affiliate right here in the house. Daniel.
Yeah,
Go for Daniel.
I'm your regional manager for Peace of Mind, and I'm here to tell you that we got the headiest glass on the planet and all your best boutique needs in town. We got it all. We got lots of locations to serve you.
Congratulations on the best boutique in town, right? Has that been issued?
We were
yet?
up for it, but we haven't heard anything yet.
It's still being voted on.
Yeah, we're a nominee.
You're a nominee, so everybody needs to get out and vote for the best boutique.
We try to serve you. Everything in our shop is the best of the best. So I mean,
there
best boutique, best head shop.
What kind of stuff you sell down there?
No, we have lots of tie dyes. We got $10 tie dyes right now. We got all kinds of good stuff, man. It's everything that's gonna take you back into the '70s. It's there. We got the
CBD products.
I got some of the finest CBD products on the planet. We have everything from flowers to edibles to you name it. If it's a CBD product, we probably have it. If your pets need it, if your doc tells you to come get it, come see us. We're here.
Right. I had a shoulder ache the other day, and
you didn't believe me.
I got some CDB gummies, and I tell you what, bam. I ain't kidding you. I went home and unloaded a cord of wood.
He's bought 400 gummies since then.
He's a frequent flyer over there at Peace of Mind.
Yeah, come on down to Pine Street, man. We've got it going on down here in Rolla, and we have other locations to serve you too, including Sullivan and St. Charles, and Park Hills. We're super excited to be at this new Cuba location too.
Right, and that's in a couple of weeks.
We got a second location for Rolla coming. That's gonna be really cool.
I heard about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe even a third. You never know. I mean, it's just popping up. You know, rumors are spreading. Is
this the fastest growing chain in Missouri, or what?
Come on,
are you franchising out? Because I want in.
We'll talk. No, we can talk.
Yeah.
My people can
got
talk.
$20.
That'll get you a McDonald's lunch for the two of you. I'll tell you that. You know. Well, you could go for the $1 meal right now. You know.
No, that's cool. And then we got to plug the cannabis. What's the cannabis tour coming up?
Yeah, so we got the tour going on. We're gonna be at we got Peace of Mind St. Charles tomorrow. We're gonna be down there 48 helping people out and everyone in St. Charles, St. Louis area. Make sure y'all come down. And then Friday, Doctor's gonna be there from 11 to 6. Park Hills area, Peace of Mind Park Hills. Make sure y'all get down there. Let everybody know. Let all your kin folks know. Let everybody know. And then on Saturday, we're going to be at Sullivan from 11 to 6 all day. Out there in Sullivan, had a huge turnout last time. Let everyone
Peace of Mind?
at Peace of Mind. Everything's Peace of Mind right now.
This is the Peace of Mind tour.
It's the Peace of Mind.
The Peace
of
Mind rock
ex
tour.
Cannabis. You know, we won family. We won. We've been rocking. We've been doing this together. We're gonna keep doing it.
Awesome.
We're gonna keep the bus rolling. And then we got the killer event on the 10th and the 11th, the Veterans Day event. We're going to be doing $50 cards. Make sure all the vets come down. Let everyone know. Help out as many of the vets as you can. All my Marine Corps, Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard. All y'all, if make sure you guys come down. We support our troops. I got a bunch of family members, friends, so we're trying to do what we can to help as many people as we can.
They just need their military ID.
It's military ID. If not, you gotta be a smooth talker. You know what I mean? Just like
Well, now this is
your DDT 214. But most people,
this is
most vets,
is,
or you got to see my man Daniel. Most those vets know each other from a mile away. A vet knows a vet. It's an unspoken code where the vet knows a vet. We got a vet on our staff too. And he always helps out all the. It's like they see him through the crowd, and then it's like, oh, you're a fellow vet, or they see the tattoos. They got the symbolizing tattoos where they spot each other where you would only know from brotherhood or being out there in the field, certain things, that certain ways they move. So we respect those guys.
Sunday and Monday.
Sunday and Monday.
Peace of Mind in Rolla.
Yes, sir. Peace of Mind in Rolla. On Pine, yeah, we'll be there. Cannabis will be there. Dr. Z will be down there.
Right.
She'll be down there helping everybody, doing her thing.
There you go. And I got a question for Dr. Z. We got about a minute left, but you were talking about some of the other treatments that you do up in your office. And you say you have a freeze box?
Yes.
Is that what it's basically called?
It's called the cryotherapy chamber.
Okay.
I went in.
It's called cryo because it makes you cry. No, just kidding.
No.
It doesn't. It made Derek cry, though, a little bit, I have to say.
It was cold. It was cold in there. It was real cold.
So we were talking a little bit off the air, and it gets down to Schedule 1 is 130 minus
level
100.
one,
level
negative
1.
130 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
So liquid nitrogen turns into a gas. And so from the neck down, you're covered with sub-zero temperatures for 3 minutes. And so it kind of tricks your body.
I gotcha.
You're going into shock. You're going to die. Hypothermic shock, and you're going to die. And so what it does, it releases your body's protective mechanisms, and all your blood shunts to your core to protect your heart and your lungs. And so then you're, protecting your vital organs, and you're breathing,
right,
and you're richly oxygenating all that blood right there, that 5 liters right here.
Wow.
And then as soon as you get out, 3 minutes, it's not so bad. As soon as you leave, within seconds, all that blood rushes through back to your periphery. And oxygen is the most powerful muscle relaxant. So all your pain, inflammation goes away.
Wow.
Lactic acid, just goes away. So
it's athletes
like
are
doing
system.
it. Mm-hmm. It's like an ice bath, but rapid.
Wow.
Biohack.
Cool. Well, let them know where they can find you at up there.
Yeah, so we're in Brentwood, 1760 South Brentwood Boulevard, across from Whole Foods, we say. And we do cryotherapy, infrared sauna, float therapy, and IV nutrient therapy. And then I always, say cannabis fits right in. So cannabis is your medicine, and these other services are your therapy.
Well, very cool.
Love it. Well, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great
Thank
to
you guys.
be
Thanks
here.
for having
so
us.
Exciting.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight on the Jimmy Tebeau Show. Don't forget, join us this Saturday night over at the Tater Patch. Free swag show. The Cannabis in town Saturday or Friday. Sunday and Monday.
Sunday, Monday.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be partying at the Tater.
There you go.
See you later at the Tater.
That's what they say. All right. Everybody out there, have a great week. I'll be talking to you tomorrow morning.
Bye.
Thank you.